I'm a little late. Sorry about that. Welcome to all you beautiful souls out there. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna have my toast and coffee here. But before that, and I'm gonna play a little. I'm gonna play some retro truther video for you. Um, but before I get to that, I'd like to remind you that I'm celebrating my second year as a tarot card reader on YouTube and as a professional. I'm available for private readings. My usual fee is $75 for an hour and a half. And to celebrate, I'm going to knock off $10. So if you'd like to book a reading with me this month in October, uh, you'll save $10. And I've got a limited number of these. There's still some left for this month. So if you want it, get your emails in to me and we'll get you set up. Okay. Quick update on my mom. She's doing better. She went in for a checkup. She had three chemo sessions. She finished two, and then she went in for to see the doctor, and he said that her cancer markers are down. They were started at like 110 or something like that, and right now they're down to 13. And she's had two chemos, and the doctor said she wouldn't have to have the third one. So that's great news. And I want to thank everybody out there who sent prayers and healing thoughts to my mom. I believe you helped. Okay, now without further ado, was there anything else I wanted to mention? Well, if there is, it'll come to me later. So you may have noticed the title of this video, and I'll take your questions uh, later too. See, I can't see the chat. Why do I always have trouble? Oh, maybe I turned it off. I thought I turned it back on. Actually, I want to do that right now. I turn off the chat because I get distracted, and so let me see if I can turn it back on real quick. Bear with me just a moment here, guys. The camera's in my way, that's why I have trouble seeing it. Okay, go to the studio. I thought I'd turned it back on. Let's see. Content. Live. Oh, I know, because it's in customization. That's where it is. Okay, I'm going to turn the chat back on. And that way you guys can discuss. This way you guys can discuss this video we're about to watch. Oh, okay, back to the carrots scream. So I took that quote from Honey C. She tells a story about when she was a vegan, and this was some years ago, I believe, and she she told her mother, I guess maybe she, like a lot of vegans do, she's probably trying to convince her mother to be a vegan, and her mother says to her, you know, carrots scream when you pull them from the ground. And that's real funny because In Search of, with Leonard Nimoy, is a television series that explored the unknown mysteries of the world. And it came out in 1977. I was like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, and I absolutely loved this show. And and the very first episode is about being able to communicate with plants. And this is when I first learned that plants have thoughts and feelings just like animals do. And back in the late 90s, when veganism was just starting to become something like you're starting to hear more people talking about, Um, I, by the way, I've been a vegetarian before when I was in the Seventh Day Adventist church. The Seventh Day Adventist taught about health a lot, and also they just they like half of all Seventh Day Adventists are vegetarians, but they never really said it was because of like kindness to animals. It was more about health, and that I thought made sense to me until I discovered that we need meat. Um, but anyways, I can remember I was on the Appalachian Trail in 1999, and there were some vegans there, and uh, and I recalled this episode of um, uh, In Search of, and I'm like, well, plants have feelings too, you know. So if your reasoning for being vegan is to not harm animals, then well, you're just harming a different life form. So it doesn't really make sense. Anyway, without further gab, as somebody said, I love to hear myself talk. uh, let's get to this video. Give me a minute to find it here. This town. Put it up on my Telegram page. See, I did share with sound, right? Have I got you guys in the chat? I'm gonna look at the chat because I want to make sure you can hear it. I hope you enjoy this. And tell me in the comments what you think about this.
The sound can only be described as otherworldly, but the source is as commonplace as the ground we walk on, the air we breathe. The sound comes from plants through sensitive electronic devices which translate fluctuations of energy. Some call it a voice. Whatever it is, it raises the astonishing possibility that plants can communicate.
I didn't turn on the chat properly. I didn't finish that. Hold on a second. Let me find that. Pause that video. Sorry about this, guys. Bring that chat on. I thought I turned. Is it on? Stacy, if you're there in on Telegram, can you send me a message and let me know? Oh, there we go. I didn't hit save. That's why. Okay. So now you should be able to chat. And I am sharing sound. And back to the video. I'll start it over again. Oops.
The sound can only be described as otherworldly, but the source is as commonplace as the ground we walk on, the air we breathe. The sound comes from plants through sensitive electronic devices which translate fluctuations of energy. Some call it a voice. Whatever it is, it raises the astonishing possibility that plants can communicate. If plants can communicate, what are they saying? To whom or what are they talking? And how can we communicate with them? A leaf is an amazing organism for utilizing the energy of the sun to produce life. Now we learn that a leaf may also have something remarkable to tell us, if only we listen.
This series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest some possible explanations, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine.
You'll see that plants can tell you different stories about themselves as you feel them. That's right, they do talk. Learn how to talk to them. Okay, everybody, let's have some fun now. You take your hand and just put it above the plant and just do this slowly.
Do plants feel? Children often have an easier time grasping a new concept. They tend to be less skeptical, more accepting of phenomena outside the normal range of human experience.
It's an energy that the plant is sending back to you. As you have a heart.
Marcel Vogel believes that plants do have feelings, feelings that man can share.
But boom, boom, boom. Plants have a heartbeat too. Plants give.
Vogel is a research chemist in San Jose, California. He has devoted years to studying plant behavior with sophisticated machines and with what he calls his mind's inner eye.
The green thumbs among us have always known there was more to growing things than the right alchemy of soil, water, and sunshine. They seem to have some special communion with plants, an ability to make them thrive. The so-called brown thumbs don't seem to be able to do that. Yet they sometimes laugh when the green thumbs talk lovingly to their plants. Now we have a startling new concept that these simple life forms have been listening, and are listening still.
No room decor is considered complete these days unless it includes something green and living. It may just be a fad, or the urban dweller's minor rebellion at too much steel and concrete. Or the roots may be deeper, touching something forgotten in many of us. Whatever it is, plants are big business, and trained minds are beginning to pay attention to a mysterious new aspect of the green world around us. The Denver Botanical Garden provides a unique environment for plants. Music played a major role in an experiment with green life, which startled the scientific community. The experiment led to the astonishing conclusion that plants have perceptions not unlike human senses, and that they respond dramatically to certain sounds. Dorothy Retalic's passion is music. After raising her family, she returned to college to complete her degree in that subject. She also studied biology, and a sympathetic teacher allowed her to combine her two interests in one project. Mrs. Retalic had always felt an affinity for plants. They were as much a part of her world as music. Mrs. Retalic theorized that in subtle ways, plants might share her sensitivity to sound. Harsh music had always bothered Mrs. Retalic. Could it be that plants also preferred one sound to another? The experiment she devised to test her question has been duplicated many times, almost always with the same remarkable results.
I always used 75 plants in every experiment. There were some vegetable plants, some flowering plants. I used green beans, squash. For the filming, used our Colorado carnations, petunias, marigolds. I used a great many different kinds of plants, so it is not just by chance that these things are happening.
Mrs. Ritalik created two distinct environments for her test plants. Water levels were kept the same in both. Temperature and lighting were identical. Only one element was different. Semi-classical music was played into one, hard rock into the other. In the chamber with soft music, the plants leaned toward the speaker, seeming to draw strength from the melodious sounds. In the chamber with rock music, the plants shrank away and eventually died. Time-lapse photography represents the reactions of the plants over several days. The results are unmistakable. Test
They didn't play Pink Floyd, though, did they?
conditions could only mean that it was the quality of the music, not the volume, that determined the reaction of the plants.
The plants, it seems to me, are trying to tell us something.
If plants hear, how do they hear? Certainly there's nothing in the plant world like the human ear and mind, but perhaps there's something else. A way of hearing that doesn't involve receiving and interpreting sound waves. What we call a sound wave is merely one form of energy, but scientists know that energy takes many forms.
Kendall Johnson is a specialist in Kirlian photography, a technique for making the invisible visible.
Kirlian photography is the popular name for maybe what is better known as electrical photography. Think about putting a leaf on a piece of film, lay the film on the dresser, the table in your house, and sneak up on the little leaf and spark it. And when you develop the film in the normal way, what results is an image on the film that looks very much like the leaf.
Through the work of Kendall Johnson and others, a new world has been opened for exploration. Perhaps the aura captured photographically is the force others say they have felt with their hands, recognized in their mind's eye.
One fantastic experience we had was simply photographing the discharge that takes place in the atmosphere, in the air. Air is very necessary for these images. If there's no air, if there's no atmosphere, there's no image.
You know this guy enjoys his cannabis.
We simply exposed the film to this discharge, and the result was a patterning that was incredible. It looked very much like a scene on the desert in the winter, a Zen garden, the way trees grow, and the impact of that image still is very vivid in my mind. And I wonder, is this saying something about the way patterns of energy perhaps predefine the way physically things develop?
Patterns of energy predefine how things develop. This was some pretty advanced thinking for 1977.
Kirlian photography not only creates these beautiful designs of energy, but it becomes very interesting when people interact with objects when these images are made. And one example of that would be what we call the green thumb series of experiments. We would pluck a leaf from a plant and make a picture, and then we'd scratch it, and then we'd make another image on film. And what would usually happen is that over a period of time, the leaf would gradually fade. But what we'd do then is, using the same type of leaf, ask someone who had the reputation of having a green thumb, you know, somebody that can grow anything. We asked them to hold their hand above the mutilated leaf. And with many of these people, rather than the leaf becoming dimmer, it actually became more brilliant.
The profound implication is that the energy depicted by Kirlian photography works both ways. The finger of someone noted for skill and sensitivity with plants has a bright aura. The finger of a person who's had little success with plants represents a marked contrast. Maybe having a green thumb or a brown thumb means more than anyone realized, that a touch can convey as much information as volumes of words.
As if somewhere in between this very personal world, one that I feel, the one that I live in, and the other world that the ordinary world that we live in every day, that's me and the world's out there. There's this whole new other possibility, and that's very exciting.
Can plants also speak? If so, can we learn to decipher this other voice? For the lover of things that grow, the ultimate would be to learn that plants have a language that can be learned. It would satisfy the needs of those who touch and complete that miraculous chemistry between man and plant. Aristotle and Plutarch thought that trees had perceptions, that they were capable of passion and reason. Modern thinkers believe they may not have been far off. Cleve Baxter has spent more than 25 years researching the behavior of plants.
Right now we're going to use a pair of electrodes that are regularly used on people but now are mounted between this C-clamp.
Baxter is a polygraph expert and has conducted lie detector tests for the Army and the CIA. The polygraph is essential to his work with plants.
This is a conventional piece of polygraph equipment of which we're using only 1/3, the galvanic skin response section. Now I'm going to activate the chart drive on the equipment and turn up the sensitivity and balance in the plant between these electrodes. Now, the tracing we're getting now represents the plant. All right, now I'm going to take a scalpel and try to get underneath the skin level of my hand, see if the pain first of cutting causes any change in the plant.
It is an experiment Baxter has performed many times. By inflicting pain on himself, he hopes to register some reaction in the plant. It is proof, Baxter feels, of perception on an elemental level. All living things, he believes, react to the pain of another. For whatever reason, the experiment fails. Perhaps Baxter has performed it too often. His reaction may not have been genuine. Baxter now tries the experiment with In Search of staff member Kay Hoffman.
Now think about Kay Hoffman here. It's like, Kay, we're going to cut your hand on TV. I don't think you could do this on TV today.
I'm going to balance this in and turn it to automatic 0 in this case. And let it quiet down.
He calibrates the machine, this time in hope of achieving a response from the plant to the cutting of Kay's hand with a scalpel.
You got a hand to spare? Right here? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is just to cut a little bit here. When you feel this, the thing that was going fairly calm is now going pretty wild. I think the plant is tuned into your apprehension pretty nicely. Now let's see if it's tuned into this. Now, I'm going to put some iodine in there.
This time, the results were positive. The plant has reacted in some way. Baxter can only conclude that it is a reaction to the pain felt by another living thing.
All right, now, let me take a look at this with you. This is sort of interesting because through here we were doing nothing that related to this, and then we decided to ask you if you would sit down and let us cut your hand. And right here is where you had the invitation to sit down and your apprehension of doing so. And here's where I'm starting the cutting. And actually, your apprehension is worse than my putting the iodine in, which apparently didn't hurt too much. In fact, the thing quieted down while that was happening. But the idea of being cut, the cutting itself, caused it to go into this vibratory thing. So all the way through here, you can see the changes that you may be able to match to your own mental set.
Cleve Baxter is concerned not only with plants, but with primary perception in all simple life forms. Bacteria is the simplest plant life, and Baxter believes the bacteria in yogurt also yields evidence of what scientists call primary perception.
All right, now I'm going to take some yogurt into this syringe, wipe the excess yogurt off, and fill the test tube with the yogurt, which contains two kinds of bacteria used in dairy products. And I'm going to take the two silver wires that are being held and clamped into place by this little device, put the two silver wires down into the yogurt, and place them in a steady position with this little clamp.
Baxter sees no difference between wiring the finger of a person to his lie detector machine and wiring a beaker of yogurt. The yogurt is alive too.
Leads, little alligator clips.
But does the simple life form at work in the yogurt have feelings?
And these leads go to the biological preamplifier up here, and from there into the final amplification that drives the pen motors.
How wide is the gulf between man and plant, if there is a gulf at all?
Now we're getting a tracing from the bacteria in the yogurt. Now we're going to see what will happen when I take a capsule of antibiotic material and sprinkle it into the yogurt and stir it in. And as I stir it up, we'll see if it has an effect.
Baxter has killed the bacteria growing in the yogurt.
I would say that's not enough.
There is no reaction from the other sample. He begins again with a fresh beaker and a different experiment.
All right, now I'm going to take some milk, and on the count of 5, pour the milk into the yogurt that I have in this beaker. Stir it up, and usually it takes maybe 15 or 20 seconds for the bacteria to find the nutrient. See what happens. You have about a 15 or 20 second delay, and then this is the kind of activity you get here. Well, what I suspect is going on is that this yogurt is being fed the nutrient, and the other yogurt is trying to find its own nutrient. It's not making out. In other words, it's not being fed anything, and yet it somehow is aware that the other yogurt is being fed.
The yogurt in the test tube saying, "Hey, where's my milk?"
To Cleve Baxter, the inescapable conclusion is that even the simplest living things have feelings. If you've ever awakened in the night with the knowledge that something has happened to someone you love and found out you were right, you might have wondered who or what was the messenger. One intriguing idea presented by this trip through a world of other voices is the...
Okay, now here's where it gets fascinating. And this is, I'm going to draw cards on this. What he says here.
possibility that plants carried the message. Apparently, plants feel and hear and speak to each other. Can they talk to us? It's clear we have a lot more to learn by deciphering these other voices, by listening with the patience this green world has apparently lavished on us for so long. As the races of man speak in different languages, so do the varieties of plants manifest their voices in different ways. They seem to be able to hear and understand us. For the time being, however, we must listen to them through our machines. One day, those machines may be unnecessary.
And I thought you might want to see Lenny, how Lenny's doing. So I brought Lenny in to say hello. Hey there, Lenny. That's a little nick he got from the groomer. I think he had some matted fur there. That's what happened there. So you guys remember Lenny? I adopted him something like about a year ago, and you guys helped raise some money for his getting spayed and all taken care of. I just thought you should see he's doing very well. He's nice and fat now. He was skin and bones when I got him. But say hello, Lenny. I gotta clean those eyes. All right, so what did you guys think about that video? Uh, C says yogurt went in the milk too. Yeah, but then when he killed the yogurt, the other yogurt's like, I don't care. So those yogurts, they're greedy bitches, huh? Are the bacteria in there? And are you a vegan? Do you know a vegan? If you are, or if you do, talk to your vegan friends, find out what they think about this, and ask them now, what are you going to eat if this is true? Many years ago, when I was studying the Bible and I was deep into my Christian belief system, uh, I, me and my friend were talking about that. We were vegetarian at the time, and we were talking about this. And actually, it seems like the perfect food would be fruit. And I believe that in the Garden of Eden, when our bodies were still very close to that perfection that God created, that's all we eat. In fact, I think there was a tree of life in the Garden of Eden, and this tree had all the food that the people at that time needed. And so, and the thing with if you think about vegetables like carrots, right? That's actually the body of the vegetable. But the fruit comes from the flower. It's something that the plant produces to be consumed and to spread its seed. So fruit is really the only thing that you could eat that you know doesn't do harm to the plant. In fact, it helps the plant. Uh, anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, in that last part where he talked about, so we all have these moments where we know when someone's going to call us, or we know what somebody else is thinking. And the very end of that video, Leonard Nimoy postulates that maybe plants are the conduit through which we're able to do this. So that's the question I'm going to have right now for the cards. Are plants and maybe the mycelium network that who runs through the roots of plants? Who knows? Maybe this goes around the world. Uh, as you saw there didn't have to be physical contact with plants. They seem to be able to pick up things through the ether. So, are plants the conduit through which telepathy works? Let's see. And what else do plants have to say, have to tell us? So there's a yes or no question, but on top of that, I'm wondering, is there anything that the plants of the world of the earth would like to tell us? Queen of Swords, Hermit, Page of Swords, Hanged Man is upside down, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this Page of Swords here. So this is a soft yes. That there is, in some ways, that's true, but that's not the only way that we're able to sense other people's thoughts and feelings. Um, really, what it is, we're tapping into our higher selves and their higher selves. And then as far as like the message from the plants is that this wheel of fortune here is, think of it as the cycle of life, right? Things must die for other things to live. So even though there may have been a time when really fruit, and there may be a time again in the future when fruit is all we eat, but at this stage in human development, um, we we eat all these other different things that have sentience as well. But the plants give us their permission to use them as food. Okay. Um, but I think we should show our gratitude every time you eat anything. You should thank the entity that resides within that food for giving its life to nourish your body. All right. So there you go, vegans. How do you feel now? Not so high and mighty anymore, are you? That carrot screams when you pull it from the ground. Okay, so does anybody have any questions for the cards? Because if not, I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I don't have any clients today. I've got some chores to do around the house, play games with Sandy. And tell me, what are your thoughts on the video that I just played? Do you communicate with plants? You often hear Janine Morjo talk about speaking with the trees. I know Honey has. I'll tell you a quick story about my bamboo. I have a big thicket of bamboo, a couple of them in front of my house. But they came from the house I lived in before, and I bought them because my front patio was the only one that didn't have a roof over it, and the sun beating down on it was just intense, and I couldn't have put a roof over it myself, so I bought these bamboo, which grew up very high and blocked most of the hottest part of the day. And when I moved house, uh, actually I was in Vietnam at the time. My wife moved the house, but she told me, "What do you want to do with the bamboo?" I said, "Well, is there any way you can pull it up and bring it to the other house?" So she did that because the people who lived in that village where I had the bamboo hated it because they would park their cars under it, which it was my side of the street, so I don't know what gave them the right to do that. And the leaves would fall on the cars, and they complained about that. So they would have killed it for sure. They would have taken it, just ripped it up, and probably left it out to die somewhere, or cut it up into pieces to use. Um, so a couple of years ago, it was a hot summer day, and I was lying out in my swimming pool, little one of those inflatable swimming pools, and I was focusing on my bamboo, and I started to pick up like messages it was sending me, and it was very simple, and it was just gratitude, and it was thank you for saving me from that death, and because of that I will now give you shade. And boy, she's flourishing now. If you should see this bamboo. I swear it grew like 1 meter in 1 week. Every rainy season it just sprouts up higher and higher. So how about you? Have you been able to communicate with plants? What do your plants tell you? All right, Stacy has a question. Her husband has hurt his calf while working out today. Can you see if this is something he will get over quickly? Right? So hopefully he hasn't like torn the muscle or anything. Let's take a look. So why is he working out with a calf? Shouldn't you get like a puppy or a kitten or something to play with? Get it? Calf, baby cow. All right, yeah, I know. Bad joke. Uh, okay, let's see here. What's going on with Stacy's husband's leg? Okay, and we'll see if he should see a doctor. I got cards upside down in this deck. Uh, you might want to tell your husband that he's not as young as he used to be. Okay, so would it get better on its own? Yeah, it looks like it'll be okay. He needs to lay off it and get plenty of rest, and but his body is still strong enough, and it will repair itself. Um, but yeah, it looks like he he's getting a little bit older, and he's not quite as fit as he used to be. So he might want to take it easy on his workouts in the future. But yeah, it looks like he's going to recover just fine. He just needs to take 4 or 5 days off to rest it. Okay. Okay. Tina Paul. Oh, by the way, let me go back and say hi to Lacey Blue, Debbie L. Thank you for your for that. And Sima. Hello, Sima. Thank you to everybody in the chat for watching. If you would like to contribute to this channel, then a super chat would be nice. $2 if you can afford it, or whatever you can afford, or if you'd rather buy me a coffee. The link's in the description. Okay. Yeah. So, and Peter, thank you very much for that. And hello, Sherry. How are you? How's your cat? Sorry about your other cats. Let's see. Tina Paul. I've been getting job offers lately. Should I change where I work? Ah, great question. Okay, so since this is a yes or no question, I always try to take yes or no questions and make them into something more open. So I'm going to do this as a hypothetical. How would it look if you were to leave your current job and take one of these job offers? Or should you just stay right where you're at? This is Tina Paul. Tina, focus your intention and attention on the job offer that you think is most viable. And we're going to see how would it look if you took that job. Knight of Wands. Five of Swords. Two of Pentacles in the past. So I wonder if there are two jobs you're thinking of. Two new ones. Oh, rising to the top, like the cream of the crop. Okay, so you may be feeling some apprehension about leaving your job because maybe you feel a sense of responsibility, a sense of loyalty, and you would have to um, disappoint somebody to take the new job. Um, but it looks like if you were to take this new job, you would rise to the top like the cream of the crop, like the cream rises to the top. You would probably get a little bit more accolades there, and you would be able to shine. You would be able to show your true individuality in that job. And it looks like with that job, you would be able to um, use more of your uh, like intuitive knowing or empathy, because she has a very deep sense of feeling others' pain. So there's something with that. And this Wheel of Fortune, I want to look closer into that. Justice. Yeah, so it seems like if you took this job, it would be more suitable for you than where you're at now. I have a feeling with this Ten of Swords here that maybe you feel like you've gone as far as you can go in your current job, and you would you would get like your talents and your abilities would get their rightful place, so to speak. And you know, I don't think we're going to have to be working jobs much anymore as we enter into this new earth, this new way of living. People aren't going to be just working a job to earn a living. if you love what you do and you feel like you're happy doing it, and whether you got paid or not, then you're one of the lucky ones. But the way of working in the future is going to be completely different. People are going to be able to follow their passions, follow their dreams, do whatever they want to do, because we're not going to be working for money anymore. I mean, we may get paid, but that's not why you're going to be working. Okay. Yeah, if you're a nurse, uh yeah, that's a job that probably we're not going to be needing so many nurses anymore. Well, folks, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Uh, so I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed the In Search Of video with Leonard Nimoy. And as long as I don't get in any trouble with YouTube for showing it, which I don't think I will, because I've borrowed those videos before. And I think because they're so old, there's no copyright to them. And I'll be sharing more of these. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, before I go, I'm going to give you one last chance to get your questions in, and send me some love in the form of a super chat or super sticker if you can. It's your donations that keep me coming back. If you like me doing more videos, then give me a little incentive. Give me a reason to wake up early in the morning. I could have been sitting on the porch watching the sunrise and sipping my coffee. Okay, Coletta. Hi, Scott. Will Social Security increase before the end of the year? Be increased before the end of the year is over? I've heard about this, and that's a great question. And I wonder if this is Jasara by another name, a way of giving back. By the way, they're working on something here in Thailand. Oh, thank you, Gigi. I appreciate that. They're working on something here in Thailand where they're going to give every Thai citizen above the age of 15, so from 16 years old on up, 10,000 baht. 10,000 baht is about uh, $300. Thank you very much, Tina. I appreciate that. Uh, and that's a lot of money in Thailand. Like the average worker in Thailand makes about 25,000 baht. So that's like half a month's pay. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with Jasara and Nasara. So it seems like money's coming back to the people. Um, and there's been a very uh, happy side effect by Thailand doing that. It's caused the baht to tank. So normally $1 is about 33 baht. Right now, $1 is 37 baht, which is very good for me because I get paid in dollars. So I hope they keep it up. But on the other hand, if I ever had to try to send money to America, and I would lose out on that. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, Social Security. And boy, this would really be great for my mom and for me in 2 years when I retire, because I'm going to be 60 on the 20th of this month. It's my birthday. Big 60, and I tell you what, I do not feel 60. I don't think 60 and I don't feel 60. Wow. This could be a yes. Oh, yeah. This is definitely a yes. I'm amazed. I didn't think it would be true. I don't know why I doubted it, but and I do think that this is Nassara cloaked as well. So yeah. And by the way, it's because of everybody who is putting their thoughts and desires into to making this happen. Even people who don't know anything about Nisara Jasara, it's their wish for this to happen. So this is the people's wish. And I believe we are manifesting this. And I do believe that this is not really something that's coming from the current government administration in America. I do believe that this is undercover Nisara Jasara rolling out. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So I hope this is correct. At least right now, that's the plan. Maybe something will change between now and what was the question? The end of the year? Oh, hi, Kimberly. Yeah, nice to see you too. Um, and so yeah, that's exciting for all you pensioners out there. And they're supposed to raise to how much? Like $2,000 a month? Or was it? Yeah, I think it was like $2,000 a month, which would be pretty nice. Okay, so on that very positive, wonderful note, I'm going to end this broadcast. I just want to thank everybody who showed up in the chat. Hope you enjoyed the video I shared with you. And I'm going to try to be on here more often. I'm feeling motivated now. I'm feeling high energy. I don't like coming on here when I'm feeling, this heavy oppression, heaviness that I get sometimes over me. Um, so so yeah, if I don't have a client as like today, I should be here working for you. All right. So good good night, everybody. Let me find my channel and end this broadcast. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon. As soon as I find my off button. And blessings to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, a wonderful rest of the year. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.